how people view you is how they view their own friendships.
Because men and women are fundamentally different. They think differently. They're wired differently.
This isn't a Hollywood film. Get your shit together and put some boundaries in place. Girlfriends, an importance or an annoyance? I'm Garcia.
I'm Izzy.
And welcome to Informally Informed. Now, this is driven, the importance of girlfriends, right, is driven in part by us. Look at us. Inspiration.
An inspiration for girlfriends.
Yeah, for, keeping your friends and remembering that sometimes life happens, but friends are important. Because sometimes it's not just friendships, it's like chosen family, it's more than that. I'm not saying that you're those things. I'm saying that it's more than that. You know what I mean? It's inspired by a poem that I came across on Instagram because,
That you then promptly sent me.
Of course. Because naturally. I thought of you. You should be happy.
I am happy.
You can show it with your rested bitch face. I'm sorry, that was rude.
I do have resting bitch face.
You do, but,
Do I, or is it just the expression I reserve solely for you, Garcia?
There's a thin line between love and hate. And what's your next words? Yeah. No, I'm joking. Kinda. Basically, I was inspired by this poem, and I was sick in bed with the flu, and I had nothing better to do. So I sent it to you. Yeah. And it inspired this, and it gave me pause, and I thought, you know what, it's true, because like shit happens, relationships happen, life happens, but it's important to keep your friendships, because a lot of people do this. They get into relationships and they stop being friends with their friends.
They wake up 10 years later if their marriage ends or whatever, look around, raise their head above the parapet and realise all my friends fucked off years ago.
Yeah.
I say fucked off. I would put it on the responsibility of the individual in the marriage, but
yeah, it's friendship is a two-way street. There has to be effort on both ends. If there isn't, then it's not going to work.
So let's hear this poem.
Okay. Thank you for the prompt. Okay. I sat on a porch in Waycross, Georgia on a summer day, drinking iced tea and visiting with my mother. Excuse me. Don't forget your girlfriends, Mother advised, clinking the ice cubes in her glass. No matter how much you love your husband, you are still going to need girlfriends. Remember to go places with them now and then. Do things with them. And remember that girlfriends are not only friends, but sisters, daughters, and other relatives too. What a funny piece of advice, I thought. Hadn't I just gotten married? Hadn't I just joined the couple world? I was now a married woman, for goodness sake, not a young girl who needed girlfriends. But I listened to my mum. I kept contact with my girlfriends and made more each year. As the years tumbled by, one after another, gradually I came to understand that mum really knew what she was talking about. Here's what I know about girlfriends. This is the inspiration bit, the bit that, that was just a prelude. This is the inspo. So, see which bits you think you fit.
All of them.
You haven't even heard it yet. Okay, let me go. Here's what I know about girlfriends. Girlfriends bring casseroles and scrub your bathroom when you need help. Girlfriends keep your children and keep your secrets. Girlfriends give advice when you ask for it. Sometimes you take it, sometimes you don't. Girlfriends don't always tell you that you're right, but they're usually honest. Girlfriends still love you, even when they don't agree with your choices. Girlfriends laugh with you and don't need canned jokes to start laughter. Girlfriends pull you out of jams. Girlfriends will give a party for your son or your daughter when they get married or have a baby, in whatever order that comes. Girlfriends are there for you in an instant when the hard times come. Girlfriends listen when you lose a job or a friend. Girlfriends listen when your children break your heart. Girlfriends listen when your parents' minds or bodies fail. Girlfriends cry with you when someone you love dies. My daughters, sisters, families, and friends bless my life. When we began this journey, we had no idea of the incredible journey, joys or sorrows that lay ahead, nor did we know how much we would need each other. Keep your girlfriends. Okay? So when I was listening to this woman read this, I thought of I thought about all the women in my life and how much I valued them. Um, I mean, I also had a moment to shade the ones I don't value. But for the most part, thinking about the ones that I do value. And you popped up. Well done, you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then I was also thinking about my cousin and my sister. And, I was thinking about the importance of them and all the things that we've been through. Surely there are female friends in your life apart from me.
Sure.
Who's amazing.
They are.
But there are.
I mean,
there's a second tier. Go on.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think what I like about the poem as well is that it articulates that passage of time really well, talking about as the years roll by, because it comes down to that thing of a clever man learns from his mistakes, a wise man learns from somebody else's. So listen to your elders.
Because they know, and it comes full circle that the mum was right. And I think it's difficult to hear when you're young. In this instance of the poem, don't project. Calm down. But I think that it's kind of hard to hear that, especially like depending on where you are in your development. I think you come to a point where you view your parents as people.
Yeah. So I had this conversation very recently, actually, with Kat. Actually,
Pagan Kat.
Yeah, Pagan Kat. I'd received a phone call from somebody that didn't know me about. She was friends with somebody that I was friends with, and she wanted my opinion on something that was going on in her life in regards to this individual. And we were having a conversation about life, and it turned into a conversation about friendship. And she said, well, I guess what I'm looking for is somebody, a girlfriend, somebody that I can talk to, that I can lean on, that I can have the responsibility of being leaned on by somebody. And she just got out of a 10-year marriage. And I was having this conversation, obviously, yesterday, and I said that I felt like this woman has clearly been in a relationship. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, I saw it with my parents as well. It's not like they didn't have friends, but they did have friends, but there wasn't that many of them that I saw them hanging out with because they had each other, they had a family life. And when that marriage ended, that 10-year marriage ended, I think she very much woke up and felt like she had nothing left. Whereas people that keep their girlfriends in that situation, they will have things left. So I think she was just sort of reaching out to people that to sort of get I would say get a life back. But again, at the same time, it is the fault of that individual. Like, we have had relationships, we've been in relationships, we've been out of relationships, we've been serious about some, not so serious about others. But the idea of letting go of your girlfriends, because, I mean, who do you rant to about your significant other?
Yeah.
But at the same time, your significant other is who you go to rant to about your friends.
Yeah.
So
I think that you need a balance, because I think it would be a very lonely life otherwise if you just didn't have friends and all you had is your partner, because then everything that they do is wrapped up in what you do, and vice versa. There's a certain level of codependency in that, for me, I think, because you're then you're not actually experiencing anything.
And their successes, your significant other's successes and failures, then become intrinsically linked to your mental well-being.
Yeah. And I just don't think it's healthy. But even more so, like, if you think about, like, the other parts of things, the celebration parts, the parts that are, when you get married, you have a what do you call it, Hindu bachelorette party, whatever you call it. You go out with your girls. Why wouldn't you want those people to continue in your life? don't you if you've kept them through, because usually it's not somebody that you met yesterday. Usually it's somebody, it's people that you've known a significant amount of time.
There was that film when there's a film that's got Paul Wood in it and Jason Segel, and he comes to his wedding day and he realizes he has enough to be his best man. I think it's called The Best Man.
All right, okay.
It's a very good film, very funny, and it explores the dynamic of male friendships and how important they are. Because he's obviously got a fiance, he's got lots of female friends, but he's not a guy's guy. And it sort of explores that dynamic really well, I think. Good film.
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that, because there is also another film called The Best Man, but it stars what's his name? The guy from Rent. Anyway, so all of these things it's about the same thing. It's dynamics of like friendships, the differences between challenging male friendships and female friendships. Like, I'm not one of these people that don't think that men and women can't be friends. Like, I don't subscribe to such nonsense. You can be friends with whoever the hell you want. If you are attracted to your friends like that because of like there's something wrong with you, not the ability to keep friendships. That's a you thing. Anyway, I think it's also important to keep those mixed friendships, like those male and female friendships. I think it's a separate thing to keep your girlfriends than it is to keep like mixed male friends, because you're not like women, and this is going to sound so dreadful, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's more of like an emotional connection that women have with each other.
Yeah.
It's not this, even though you can have those emotional connections with your male friends, it's kind of different.
Because men and women are fundamentally different. They think differently. They're wired differently. So when you're talking to a male friend, there's not going to be the same level of automatic understanding and I get you that you would with your female friends, because female friends get it because they're female.
Yeah.
Male friends don't necessarily get where you're coming from straight away. It's important to have male friends.
Of course.
Because it gives you an understanding into how men think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same for men. It's important to have female friends.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important to just keep your friendships and sort of keep somewhat of a separation between church and state. Because I do feel this significantly, like, because I see it all the time. It's always a plot line in a movie where girlfriends are interfering in like relationships and whatnot. This isn't a Hollywood film. Get your shit together and put some boundaries in place. But that doesn't mean that you can't have friends. Do you know what I mean? I just think that as adults, friendships change. We were just discussing this. Friendships change. And I think relationships change.
I think Hollywood has a significant impact into the way we view male and female friends.
Yeah.
And female girlfriends. And that's not a term we use in the UK. That's very much an American thing. In this country, we just say friends.
Yeah. Mate.
Whereas in American, they say, "Oh yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend," and they're like, "Are you a lesbian?
Yeah.
Or what's going on there?"
Yeah.
But they just
need
a friend.
Throuple type situation. No judgment, just curiosity. But it's true, and it's an interesting situation. I always feel like, because I've said this in one of our politics episodes, and I don't want to bring too much politics into this, but I said this in one of our politics episodes, wherein America exports culture, and the UK just sucks it up like a sponge. Like, America farts, and the UK's there to sniff it. It's terrible. It's terrible. So we just seem to be taking on these influences, and that's kind of ruining our society, to be honest with you.
And it's like, there's loads of places as well. Like Bumble has a friendship section on Bumble where you can meet new friends if you're in your area. There's loads of places like the Meetup app to go out and meet new people and meet new friends and build those friendships. It's like Simon Sinek often says, trust isn't formed in an instant. It's not even, bad times don't form trust straight away. It's slow, long, meandering process. And I think it's interesting as well when you look back at our friendship, because we've had many comments, like the one about the conversation I had with that girl the other week that I was talking to Kat about yesterday. Like, some people in your life have made comments like, I wish I had an Izzy. I wish I had a best friend. And people say that to me. I wish I had a Garcia. I wish I had a best friend. And I think we have to take a moment to recognise how fortunate we are that we're in that. But again, it's like, again, I'm Simon Sinek. And it's like climbing a mountain. People see the foot of the mountain, the peak of the mountain, and they want to be at the top of that mountain. What they don't see is the mountain in between.
It's the journey. It's not the destination.
Well, I mean, there is a destination. The destination is this.
Yeah, but it's an ongoing journey.
I mean, yes, and people want, again, it's the iceberg theory. People want to be in that place where they have trust, 100% trust, and to know somebody so incredibly well, they know what they're going to say the next moment because they know them well enough to know how they're going to react to every single situation, to know what advice to give people depending on that individual, to know what they're going to do with the information that you provide them about your life, how you did, to know who you can rely on and stuff like that. That is a process. And we're living in a time where impatience is the main currency, but everybody is incredibly impatient because everybody can have what they want now, instant gratification, apart from relationships,
yeah, interpersonal.
People have to. People don't want to. It's like people want. That's what I want, but they're not willing to put in the work together. I don't know. Maybe you.
I mean, we also discussed this in our friendship episode. You should definitely look over that. But this is like a. It's the same thing with like a group of friends because we were in a group of friends. In fact, there's still sort of groups of friends that we pocket. But it's about managing the relationships and those things because, like, when I'm talking about like girlfriends, it's not everybody's that's just gonna have a best friend. I will. Can I just? I'll come back to this point, but before I don't want to forget this before I move on. I've also had the comments of, "Are we even friends?" So all of those nice flowery things you just said were amazing, but I've also had those comments like, "Are you guys even friends?" And it's because I said there's a thin line between love and hate. And how people view you is how they view their own friendships. So they try to project those things. It's true. That's what I always think when I hear comments like that. Is like, "Oh, do you even like her?" What kind of question is that? Do you think I just like to waste my time?
But to be
energy
fair,
and effort?
To be fair, a lot of people that have said that to you, the only time they've seen us interact is on the podcast episode when we're arguing about politics.
That's a good point.
So you can understand.
They're not the only people that have said that to me. I've had quite a few people say that to me. And I've always said the same thing. Yes, of course we're friends. They don't know you. They just hear about you. Or see you, or like, exactly. For example, do you remember what I was saying to you about when I went to the pub a few weeks ago? And I was defending your honour. Because you weren't there, but there's an event that we are attending.
I've never met any of these people.
There's an event that we are attending, and I was asked about how you are. Like, oh, what's she like? So I'm like, all right, well, she supports Trump. But then, no, I didn't actually. I was telling them about you generally, like, what you do for work and stuff like that. Like general chat. And then someone else at the table said, "Oh, she supports Trump." Knowing that this would have an effect on the extreme leftist person that was sat across from me, with that very principled person. You can't argue with that. Do you know what I mean? Stand by your morals. Great. But my argument was simple. I do not need my friends to hold the same opinions as me. I don't. Because that would be ridiculous. I'd be shouting into an echo chamber if that was the case. I need a variety. And I get that with Izzy because there's a lot of things that we are opposite on. But there's a lot of things that we're just not. But none of it affects our friendships because it's, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't
If you're
care.
entitled to your opinion, even if you're wrong, that's okay.
Shut up. As long as you're not doing like morally. I think that morals and values is what it comes down to. And I think that if you've got shared morals and values, then you can have differences. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, what is wrong with...
So what are the lessons learned from girlfriends?
Keep your girlfriends,
From the
because
parent, I should say.
they are the ones that will be there for you through thick, thin, and everything in between. From something minor to something major, like you need to go to the hospital, being picked up from your house after you just come back from a plane.
Yeah.
You're having a heart attack. Turns out you had a really bad chest infection. Or to something small, like, can we take a detour so I could go to Tesco?
Yeah.
It's not about who does what for who. It's about more than that. It's a deep intertwinement. That's almost gay, but not quite.
The way you phrased that.
I know.
Yeah.
No, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of, it's the ability to depend on someone, and I think that that's what it comes down to. Like, you need to be able to depend on your girlfriends, and I'm talking not just one. I'm talking about if you're in a group of girlfriends, keep your girlfriends. Recognize their strengths. Talk to them. Build your own interpersonal skills so that you can talk to them.
And I think there's also a lesson to be learned when it comes to the courage of vulnerability.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And have the hard conversations, because you're going to have them with someone.
And you know what? I think as well, having girlfriends that you trust and rely on can improve the entire way you view the world. It will give you a more positive outlook on life, because a lot of people, although you can't trust anybody, or if I tell this to anybody, it's going to get out and this, that, and the other. That's not always the case. So it can give you a more positive view on society as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of studies about this, about the ability to trust people and what that does to your life. Go look some of those up. Go enrich yourselves with friends and hope that they become more than that, but not romantic.
And on that bombshell,
it's
time for the show.
Yeah. So thank you for watching.
And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one, where we talk about less gay shit.
See you later, guys.
See you later, guys. Let us know if you agree or disagree with any of our views. That's the point of the conversation. Join in.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.